All right, so we will start the session on time, yeah? Okay, salam sejahtera and good afternoon to all participants here. So my name is Yubin. I'm from Department of Environmental and Occupational Health, Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, and I will be the moderator for today's session. So first of all, I would like to welcome all of you to the final webinar series for HOTS assessment. HOTS stand for Higher Order Thinkings. So perhaps some of you have been following us since the first webinar series about 3 weeks ago. So if you missed the previous session, you could watch it from YouTube, from BHEP FPSK, BHEP FPSK, and if you're happy, you can follow and subscribe to their channel. All right? So I must grab this opportunity to thank Deputy Dean, Academic Health Sciences and Students Affairs Office, Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, in collaboration with Unit Pengembangan Akademik Sains Kesihatan Meriu, for organizing the HOTS Assessment webinar series. So for today's session, we are proud to have Dr. Manraj Singh Chima to share his talk, Rekindle the Passion in PutraBlast, Designing and Developing E-Assessment. So this is really relevant to every one of us here, where PutraBlast is just like our life partner in teaching and learning in UPM, and we must maintain some level of passion to PutraBlast, right? So before we start, I would like to briefly introduce our speaker, Dr. Manraj. Dr. Manraj, originally from Sarawak, he did his PhD at the University of Surrey, UK, under the Commonwealth Scholarship and Fellowship Plan, looking at the transcriptional regulation of chioferin alpha group of family upon the chemical challenge. He continued working in this field and in addition, looking at the toxicity of natural products through genomics, transcriptomics, and proteomics approaches. Dr. Manraj is also the Vice Chair of the Young Scientist Network, Academy of Sciences Malaysia, and Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, Representative Committee of UPN Teaching and Learning Innovation Committee. Recently, Dr. Manraj has embarked on the journey to redesign medical and health sciences education through global learning, gamification, and physical or virtual game-based approaches. These approaches encourage students to feel ownership over their learning and be able to create their own knowledge, translate and share it with the communities. Since then, Dr. Manraj has developed, reviewed and refined several physical and online learning games and modules in toxicology and forensic science. He has been involved in many collaborations, mainly with Young Scientist Network, ASM Malaysia, and mostly in creating modules for school children in Malaysia, as well as in Asian region. So his passion in research and innovating higher education has allowed him to attain research grants, awards, gold and silver medals, and recognitions both nationally and internationally. Rest assured, his burning desire to make an impact in teaching and learning of medical and health sciences will forever be the drive-in striving for excellence in higher education. Okay, this one I can assure, where we consistently receive his sharing in teaching and learning through emails, webinars in the faculty, and some of us asked help personally, and he did assist us. So, and then perhaps some of us has been joined his talk last year in June, and then he will have some to refresh our memories in this course. The course is in designing and developing effective e-assessment in PutraBlast. So he will just refresh our memories in this course. So today, this webinar happened just at the right time before our final exam or final assessment, right? So before we start, just some announcement. If you have any questions during the talk, you can type in the chat box or unmute yourself to ask questions. Okay, we are very flexible. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to welcome Dr. Manraj, and the floor is yours, Dr. Manraj.
Thank you very much, Yubin, for the very kind introduction. I'm so flattered. Wow, so nice. Anyway, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks, Yubin. And I would like to take this opportunity as well to thank Dr. Nisa and her team for organizing this HOTS assessment webinar series, and also to Dr. Nisa for taking the initiative, right, to really assist us in really better developing our questions for assessment. So I hope you can see my slides. So I'm just going to say that it's the title here is Rekindle the Passion in PutraBlast. So therefore, what happens is in this webinar series, I guess this is the fourth and the last one. So in the first three is we really understood what was it about and how to create HOTS question. Now is where are you going to put your HOTS questions? So basically, it's of a refresher course of what happened last year, and then to also tell you what's developing in PutraBlast, so that you can have your transition into PutraBlast and conducting e-assessment is going to be very smooth. All right. So for those who don't know, I'm Raj from the Department of Biomedical Sciences, Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, and yeah, before I want to share. I would like to share a quote from someone very famous regarding very pertinent to high order thinking skill. Is it important, or why is it been emphasized so much? Because that person is actually Albert Einstein. He talks about education is not about learning facts. So it's not about memorization or factual recalling, or we call it rote learning, but the training of the mind to think. Because when you're able to think, then you don't need to memorize, because you know how to adapt and adopt. And one more of another quote that is very famous for him is that the problems of today can only be solved at a higher level of thinking than that which created them. So therefore, in order to solve any problems, right, you need to have a greater thinking than those problems, those people who created those problems. So uh, in order to solve problem, you need a higher level of thinking, and thinking is what you train your mind to do, and education is supposed to be that pillar in addressing those thinking capability. So yeah, so something I like to share about from Albert Einstein. So for today, what my aim here is to look at, okay, the one husband and five wife approach. Okay, so I would like to introduce to you the what and who about learning and HOTS, and when, why, and how HOTS happen, which was the recap of the previous talks. And then today is, you know what is HOTS, you know how to do it, but now where do you put those HOT questions so that you can conduct the assessment? So that's why we want to design the where comes in, to design it in PutraBlast. So the session's outcome is basically to introduce you to refresh. That's why it's called Rekindle. It's like last year you were all very touchy, feely with PutraBlast, because it's like the first stage of the love affair. So now you have been 1 year ready together with PutraBlast. So hopefully the love has prospered, has flourished. So now you're more of rekindling and making it stronger, the connection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you again a refresher course. Now it's going to be quicker because you have experience on with PutraBlast, on what are some of the questions that you can do in PutraBlast and how to conduct, and to tell you what are the few new add-ons that we can do when we conduct online assessment. So for the first introduction is basically this. I believe since the start of the COVID pandemic, Kate has, one thing, kudos to Kate, has taken the initiative to come up with all the steps and implementation to assist lecturers as much as they can with their capability, to assist us in how to conduct online teaching and online assessment. And I believe that this is actually, they have come up with a very good book. You can go to Kate's website. And also, I would say, yes, go to the website and look at all the resources they have. And also, apart from FPSK's YouTube channel, Kate has also YouTube channel. So please subscribe and like, because you'll get a very good notification of all the webinars or all the trainings that they will provide. So it's very good. So what happens is, Kate has come up with a flowchart of how to create e-assessment. So it starts from, there are 11 steps on how you find the first things you're supposed to do, up to how do you document the marks and so on and so forth. So I don't want to go into this because I guess you know all the steps already, roughly how is it like. However, when we talk about assessment, it's very important that the end of the day, the most important outcome is talking about whether your assessments are aligning to the course learning outcomes. That is the most important thing. Whatever you do, your assessment has to address those course learning outcomes. Okay, so designing HOTS question would address all uh, those pertinent points as well. So I'd like to just introduce a refresh. Remember these hot things, right? This one, remember when we started COVID, the one when we started e-assessment last year, then we had glitches that students are overperforming. They suddenly became very smart and they're scoring like nobody's business, right? Remember? And they were like, okay, is it because of the question? So one of the issues, maybe is issue, one of the things that people might think is the quality of questions that we put out may not be of very high standard. It's hot, but it's not hot enough. Hence, that's why students are overperforming. So it's something to think about and something to really to invest, to look at. Are our questions really of quality? Because physical examination is a controlled environment. When it becomes online, right, it's no more a controlled environment, right? There's so many influences. So therefore, we have to really design our questions so that it will be online proof as well. So I guess we had the three very good eminent speakers that really taught us about all these. So what they did was they taught us about, we know how to create HOTS question. Now they taught us on how to create hotter, and hopefully by the end of today's session will be the hottest hot question ever. Okay, so we had Dr. Abdul who talked about the common practices and challenges of online assessment. Then we have Dr. Tazli Azizan for UniMap, who is a guru on HOTS assessment. So we managed to get him as well. So he talks about how to strategize in preparing HOTS assessment. And also my colleague from the JKIP UPM, Dr. Salah, whereby he doesn't talk only about HOTS, but he talks about how to conduct and design open resource examination. So students can open all the resources, but then how do you design those questions that with the help also is still of a higher order thinking level types of questions. So basically now you already know how to create HOTS question. I hopefully you have already created. Now where do you put this HOTS question? That's where I come into the picture. Okay, so before that, just a quick recap of what is actually HOTS. For those who did not manage to attend, don't worry, there is a recording, you can have a look at it. I'll just recap for you what is HOTS. When we want to talk about HOTS, it's very important to know that who are the HOTS. If you're going to create higher order thinking skills question, who are they for? Okay, they are for our students. And who are our students? Our students are not the same students as who we were once before. Okay, these are known as the 21st century learners. Okay, whereby for them, communication is very important, right? They love to have creative thinking. Okay, they are very information literacy. They have very good, they know where to find information, whether right or wrong is another issue, but they know where to find information. And they love collaboration. Okay, they are not the photocopy machine anymore, whereby they love to churn out copy after copy of what the lecturer says. They like to ask and they like to think, right? So these are the needs and the styles of our current students. So the question lies that, are we really designing our lectures and our question to cater to this type of learning students, styles of the students? So are we really going to use the critical thinking skills? Are we creating creativity questions that will trigger these people to be more involved and really enjoy the assessment part of it, not just memorization? Okay, so why is it important? It's just because when we talk about 21st century learning, right? This is one diagram that I really like. It's when we talk about 21st learning, it's no more only what is the green part. The green part is what is being taught in class or the subject content matter. It's how do we relate this green part, which is all the content of the course, right? All the topics that you teach them, right? And then of course you're going to have standards, you're going to have instruction and curriculum, but how do you connect this with the 21st learning century skills, which is either could be a life and career skills, learning and innovation skills, the four C's like critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and then of course celebrating technology, because they are all very tech savvy. We have to have information, media, and technology as part of our teaching and learning process. So the challenge here is, how do we connect our core and also to enhance all these skills, which is the outer region. So the connectivity, the linkages is very important in 21st century learning, because our students are now the education should be learner centered, not anymore educator centered. Our time was all teachers and educators are teaching us, we just listen. Now is we are supposed to collaborate together, we are co-creators. So we are not just vomiting information, we actually design courses, we design questions, we design the learning process. So we are actually designers as well. And how we do design is giving some power to students to empower them in their learning process. So they have to do something to learn. It's not just giving and churning out information over information. Okay. So yeah, that's the one. One more thing is, when we teach, it has to be very relevant. And when even in the HOTS assessment or any assessments, it has to be relevant and it has to be transferable. Students love, at this moment, is 21st century students, they love something that they may use. They do not like it, oh, I'm just learning this just for the sake of passing because I can't use it. They don't see the connection, they fail to engage. Okay, so transferable means whatever information they learn now, they can transfer. So it's very good to provide them with the real life working experience, real life experience, because they will tend to appreciate it. And those information not only have to be transferable, it has to be diverse and adaptable. So the students will know where to adapt it and where to use it. Then they will love to learn. Okay, and to some extent, the learning has to be personalized. It means you still pay attention to the whole group, but in a way, you still have some elements where you can personalize, make it one-to-one. They will appreciate it a lot. Okay, and then of course, now, like it or not, we have to be tech-driven. Without tech-driven, yes, students may complain, but when you give them this technology-based whatever learning, they will enjoy it after a while. They might be, oh, I'm lazy, student malas, but then they will intend to enjoy it and they will understand better. All right. So I'm not going to go into much, but this is, yes. So what is expected from us as educators in this century? We can't be those educators before us like us. They were excellent for that era. Now we can't be the same thing, because era, technology, everything is changing. Why education is not changing that much? So what is actually expected of the educators in this century? Simple as this: learning to change and changing to learn. So we have to learn how to change. Okay, and then once we learn how to change, then we have to change ourselves to learn again, because it's not the way that we are learning. So adapt and adopt is very, very important in educators for this century. Because I like the picture. I won't be this before my retirement. I look like him, but I'm almost there in some certain criteria. Okay, this picture here. Okay, so 21st century educators should be, of course, learners themselves. They are leaders. They are vision. Means you design your course. It's like a vision. It's like a leader. You're not simply just teaching, you're designing. So it's like a pementasan theater. You have to make sure everything flows very well. So you lead these learning processes. It has to be inclusive. It has to be reflective. You are a relationship builder, okay? Not destroyer. You build relationship. And you have to have network, which means that you have to have connection around, so that you can use your connection in your teaching and learning process. You don't have to do it yourself. Collaborate with other lecturers as well. They'll be very good. So that's why I said lecturers are designers and artists as well. And they are storytellers, because it is pementasan theater. And then innovator means you try something engaging, not all the time, but most of the time. Okay, approaches. So these are the 21st century educators which we want to demand. Now, that is, we know what are the students, how the learning process should be, what are the teachers. So if you look all of this, hot skills is actually very important. Higher order thinking skills is actually very important to address those educators and the lecturers, and also the learning style. Because if you manage to do HOTS, you're covering all the aspect that what is needed from the educator, from a learner in the 21st century skills. So a quick one, HOTS, higher order thinking skills, is when learners use complex ways to to think about what are they learning. So they have to think about what they are learning, then you know they are HOTS. Not like when they read the question, they know the answer. That is not learning anymore, that's memorization. So in order for this to happen, the requirement here, we have 6. Okay, this is what I summarized from the previous talks, from the 3 esteemed panelists. One is, first step is, of course, they have to understand the facts. Okay, let's say I give a student 3 definitions. So I'll just guide you the simple one. It's not really a very what is this far-fetching or whatever. Let's say we give them a definition. We give 3 definitions of a term. So the first step is they have to understand the facts. So facts is very, very important. So they have to understand facts first. Then what they do is they understand the 3 facts of the 3 definition. Then they infer. Infer means making up conclusion according to the evidence, not simply coming up with conclusion, but with solid evidence. So they look at the 3 definition and then they understand, oh, this is what is strength of a definition 1, 2, and 3. What are the weaknesses of 1, 2, and 3? Then they try to connect. What are the 3 connected? The 3 definitions could be connected, and what are the facts and concepts they are trying to say? So then the 4th step is they will categorize. So definition 1 talks about this. Definition 2 talks about what definition 1 talks A, add on. Definition 3 talks about something new, which is not related to 1 and 2. So they are categorizing and manipulating those 3 definitions. Then what they do is they take these 3 definitions and combine and come up with a new way and a novel way of defining that term into a new definition, which takes into account of all the 3 plus whatever they learn and whatever they learn from externally. So you have a new definition of the concept, which is relevant for their time. And then when you do this, they are able to apply them as they seek new solution to the problem. So this definition could be a new definition for their courses, for their field of learning. So this is how HOTS is. Okay, they have to think about what they are learning. Okay, so if you look at the Bloom's taxonomy, you have 6 levels. Okay, remembering is the lowest. Okay, and then goes up to creating. HOTS are usually the higher level is more HOTS. The lower level is lower order thinking. So usually people will consider HOTS question from level 4 to level 6, where you analyze, evaluate, and you create. Okay, so when we talk about analyze, we are talking about how do you get the information, how do you separate it, and then you understand and you make a relationship out of it. So it's like examples of the keywords they usually use is classify, divide, simplify, right? How do you differentiate this? Not mere, and you have to remember, if you remember the 3 the talks that we had, not merely using this word classify, differentiate is going to be a HOTS question. It's just to show you the process. You come and say, please classify this, but please classify, let's say you want to classify here, a very simple thing. So you teach in the class, let's say you classify, it's actually a known classification. There is not a classify level of analyze. It's like look at the environment and try to reclassify, then there will be a better HOTS question. Okay, so the gist here is merely using the words doesn't indicate HOTS question. You really have to analyze those questions. Okay, so if it's level 5, where we look at evaluation, so they have information, they have to analyze the information, then they evaluate those information. So it's like you ask for why do you just justify their answers. You always ask to justify the answers. You debate a statement, or you try to give a process and they try to validate whether this process is good. This is called evaluation. Okay, and then towards the level highest one is, usually people say in online assessments you can't do creation because it's very high level. You can't do it within 1-2 hours, but it can be integrated into the whole assessment of the course. It doesn't have to be your final exam. Okay, so creation is when they are able to analyze, evaluate, and come up with something new. So you usually ask them to build something or plan something or formulate a new equation, and then you do you give them a methodology and ask them to improve on the methodology. So these are all sort of creating. I won't spend time, but if you need more, I would say, please, if you want my help, I'm more than happy to assist. But what I need from you guys is, before you come and see me, try to create a HOTS question, and then we will analyze, because then you will understand better the concept. Okay, I'm not saying I'm a perfect, I'm still learning, but it will help if you want to come and see me. Have a HOTS question. So to you, what is a HOTS question? Just create it. Then, because then we have a better discussion later on. If I'm just going to teach you how to create a HOTS question, it's not going to be very engaging and won't be more meaningful. So come up with a HOTS question, and then we can sit down and think about it, whether it's hot or not, or how can we make it hotter and hottest. Okay, I'm more than willing to help. I'm telling you, disclaimer, I'm not a perfect HOTS. I also learn from the process. Okay, any question? Okay, yes, okay, Armania, Dr. Armania, yes, definitely we have a session, no problem. So this is basically what is actually our education environment is. The students are what are needed from us as educator. And now we really know the importance of hot questions, especially online. So now I'm going to go into PutraBlast. So I'm not going to hit around the bush. We're going to look at PutraBlast. So I'm going to go into PutraBlast and let's get it started. But before this, I just wanted to recap again. In PutraBlast, we have about 15 types of questions in the quiz option of PutraBlast. Okay, so I'm going to cover a few. I won't cover calculation, because calculation, I'm not the expert. I need an engineer, because we use basic calculation. We're not using higher level calculation. If you need assistant, I have my team. So I have my network. Remember, 21st century educators have to be networked. So I got the networks. I have mathematicians and engineers that can help and explain to you in depth about calculation if you need. But I'm going to go through the easy one, which you quite commonly use, and I won't touch on this, but if you want this, embedded answers, because you have to know simple coding. So simple coding thing, but it takes time. It takes about half an hour to explain. So I won't touch that. But if you want to know one-to-one, no problem. I'll try to touch as many as possible, sort of like a refresher course, and hopefully in this final you may try it. Okay, so any question before this? So this is I will share my slides with the TDSK office. Yeah, and then here are some of the references for you to scroll through. I provide a few if you want to look through. Okay, so that's it. If you got any questions, this is my email here, manraj@upm.edu.my. This is my phone number if you want to get in touch with me. Before, I don't have to come back to show this PowerPoint slide, so I'm just finishing it, and then we go and look at PutraBlast. So any question before we go to PutraBlast?
Any questions from the participants before we move on? So seems like no questions, yeah. So maybe Dr. Manraj, we can move to the next.
Okay, sure. Oh, there is it Alicia?
Yeah, Dr. Arisha. Hi, Dr. Raj. Could you also help with the automatic calculation? She needs help in this.
Okay. PutraBlast can do automatic calculation, but I would say there are some challenges. Some MCQs you can do it. If you want to do for essays, you can do it as well. But then it's going to be there is no human touch to the answers. You know what I mean? If students are thinking differently, the system can't have that deep learning or machine learning to understand those questions and say that basically they're trying to say that, because you have to put the input. So if the input is not what the student put in, even though bau-bau bacang ada, the system cannot. So I'll tell, for marking, I'll show you how, but I'll put for MCQ, true, false, those I wish you don't have to mark, then it can be done, okay? Where I would say essay, short answer, sometimes you need the human touch. So I would not use the auto marking options, but I'll show you the auto marking options. Okay, I'm just going to open PutraBlast. So let me just share my screen, my PutraBlast screen. Okay, can you see my PutraBlast screen? I don't have to log in anymore now. You're all experts already. I don't have to show you how to log in into. Okay, this is just one of my course, okay, together with Dr. Rohini from KPP. Okay, so this is all the content, you know, the content inside, right? Okay, so let's say the last week is the exam week. Okay, so you know how to create the section, right? I don't have to go through. to tell you the section how to create. So this is my trial exam, I would say. So this is some of the information I have. And what I like to do now, I started doing is, of course, telling students what to expect is normal already, their bandwidth and every information prior to exam. Now what I do is I ask them to have an honesty pledge as well. So it's like sort of proctoring and to make them to cite them so that to reduce the tendency to look around for answers. Okay, so I usually give this honesty pledge lah. So sort of like make them scared. If you want, I can share for you the honesty pledge. If you want to look, it's not correct. It's just something that I do for my classes as well. Let me just share. Okay. This is. Can you see? Can you see the slides?
It's appearing. Yeah, we can see now.
Okay. Okay, this is what the academic honesty integrity pledge lah. So before they sit for exam, they have to read this carefully. Okay, by signing this form. Something like Bora aku janji, and then you got cheating, plagiarism, fabrication, deception, for furnishing false information, everything. Then they have to put their name, their metric code, and sign. And they have to submit this on PutraBlast. So they get scared a bit, So they're like, okay, better know. It's just psychology, okay? But don't go into student psychology lah, okay? So this is the pleasure. One page they have to sign before they sit for their exam, okay?
Do you think that's effective to like scare the students?
In terms of scaring them,
it's not,
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, yes, because I think I have defined them. When I am very nice, I am very nice. If I am not nice, I'm the worst devil they ever meet. They know that. So when I tell them not to do something, they will really listen. So it's like the whole process. They know if you want Dr. Mandra, she'll give you the most love in the world. But if it's wrong, don't come in front of him. So they know their level. So I guess for me, it's a psychology trick and it works for me, okay? And then of course, using parents, psychology games to think about your parents are there, your mom is cooking now, and then they all hope that you're going to do well in your education, right? Your father is like driving or working and saying, never mind, my sacrifice is for my kids. And then here you are cheating. Oh my goodness. So they were like, oh, no, doctor. Oh, no. So is this psychology, okay? This is what I do. Okay, so I'm not going to go in that much well. I'm just going to go into PutraBlast now and look at it. Okay, so now we're going to create the exam question. Remember, I told you in PutraBlast, when we talk about assessment, it's in the section of quiz. Quiz means you don't have to use it only for exam or test. You can use it throughout your learning process. That's why it's called quiz, because at any moment in time in your teaching and learning, you feel free to use it. Okay, that's why it's called quiz. So what you do is you add an activity. I think you remember this. If you can't see, let me know. If I'm going too fast, let me know as well. Okay, so now the layout is different already. Last time was all that line, now is this. So you go under quiz, click on quiz. Okay, it's coming out. Okay, so this is the quiz, right? So this is a quiz, the front page of your examination. So when you click quiz, it comes out as your front page of your examination. So the name here you can put is whatever, SBP XXX exam. Okay, let's say, all right. Then you can put the front page information that you find usually when you do the hard copy version. Okay, so you put the dates in, whatever, and then some more reminders. I like to put this, you have to answer all questions, and it's only one attempt, so be careful. And then if you found cheating, there's 0 marks. So I like to display this, okay? This is normal setting for all tests, I think you all know. Now for timing, there are 2 versions. I like to enable everything, okay? Time limit is to show that how long they can take the exam, okay? So if the exam is for 2 hours, then it's for 2 hours. You can change it to hours or minutes or whatever. You can do that, okay? So it's 2 hours. But here the open and quiz and close quiz is how long would this be or this exam be open in PutraBlast before they close it so student can access. So I usually give more than the 2 hours. I usually give an hour. So half an hour earlier, half an hour later in case there's any problems students face, okay? So let's say today, July, okay, let's say I put whatever timing. 14, so until 16 now. Okay, 17. Okay, so this is within the 2 hours of the exam plus half an hour before, half an hour earlier, so something like that. Okay, so you put that in, and then most important thing here is this at the moment when times expire. So what I like to put is I like to put it very open. Any open attempts, as long as the student is doing something, it will be automatically sent for grading. So it doesn't matter, they have to finish. If they haven't finished the exam, they still can submit and be graded. Okay, unless the last option is like you have to press the last click, I finish attempt, then only it will be submitted. If you're still doing it, it won't be considered, you get 0 straight away. So we cannot be that harsh. So I always say open attempt. Okay, and then the grade, you know, I don't have to explain anymore. Attempts allowed, because it's final exam, there's only one attempt, so I have to put it at 1. But if it's like for quiz in classes, you can ask them to try as many times as you want, no problem. And then layout means the question here, every question want to be on a page, or you want to have 5 or 10 or 20 questions on a page, up to you. I like it new page, new question. That's how I prefer. So I hope the student likes it as well. So within the so I would like 1 page per question. So 1 question have 1 page. And then navigation is they can go, once they answer question 1, they move to question 2, they move to question 3. If they want to go back to question 1, they can do it. So this is called free navigation. They can go forward and go backward. If you do not want, then you have to say it's sequential, means they have to finish answering 1 before they're answering number 2. Okay, they can't go back. So it's up to you if you want to leave it to your preference. All right, and then this one exam question is I love shuffling. So every students have different answers. So it's not A, everybody will answer A, everyone is A, because they can check, they have the group, right? They can put in the WhatsApp, question number 1, A. So reduces the chances, but still can happen, don't worry, still can happen. Okay, and the most important thing I wanted to show here is this two. You review options usually set. Please remember, review options are all set, means you provide feedback, you provide marks. You don't want to do it for a final exam. So I always would love to click, unclick everything. Okay, so you don't provide feedback, you don't provide marks, you don't provide anything. So student won't anything, or else if they know the marks, they can go back and check within the 2 hours. So make sure it's all unticked. Maybe I would love to keep, okay, the attempt. After the quiz is closed, I like to say that, okay, just to confirm that you have attempted the exam. So that's fine, no problem. Okay, I'll leave it as that. All right, and then in terms of appearances, nothing much. Okay, if you want the students to put the image for them, you can do. You ask the image before they take for the exam, you can do so. But one new features now in PutraBlast, it was not in last year, it's known as the Safe Exam Browser. What it means is, before the student can take the exam, they have to go into the Safe Exam Browser, which means that only PutraBlast will pop up. They can't pop up any other browsers or any other website. They can't go and Google or anything. They can't do cut and paste, copy, cut and paste function in this system here. So they lock everything. You can only answer questions in PutraBlast. It helps some, of course, you know, students, they might have another computer, another laptop or whatever, my iPad, they can still cheat if they want to. But this Safe Exam Browser is to lock this current PC they use for exam. So in a way, it provides an added proctoring step. Okay. Any questions so far? I see.
Yeah, Dr. Raj, we have a few questions in the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay, first one from Dr. Alicia. Dr. Raj, how to set exam like so that the students cannot attempt the exam the second time? So
okay, that was when you go into, okay, Dr. Yubi, you read for me. So here they cannot attempt second time is here. Remember where okay, where was it? Remember when I told you only one attempt at the first page when you click quiz, right? So it's only one attempt, so that is the place that you say. So here, attempts allowed, you fix it at 1. Means that they cannot go back and redo. So if they log out, finish, and want to redo again, they cannot do. So attempts allowed is only 1. Okay.
So that means they submitted their answer, they cannot come in again.
Yeah. Once they finish and they say submit, finish attempt, then they want to redo the exam, they don't allow you. They just say you have attempted this exam set. So they will not ask you to do it again.
All right. So we have question
Yeah.
from Prof. Chia also. Dr. Ran,
Okay.
sequential choice will be better for students because they won't have time to communicate with the rest. Is it the sequential choice will be better?
Okay. I will not say better. No, it depends on how you design those questions, if you know what I mean. Sequential, because they have to understand that if it goes to some level, yes, you can do sequential. So either better than free, it depends. Okay, because sometimes you want some students like to go back and check. So if you want to do that, you can do. If you want to give the flexibility, if you don't want, so you have to inform. You have to inform the students whether. Please be reminded that the exams is sequential. You have to finish question 1 before you move to question 2. So you just have to remind them, because then they have to set remind, because sometimes what happens is then they have the tendency to go back and have a look, right? So to just check the answer all the questions, so they can do that. So yeah, feel free to
Okay.
use either sequential or free navigation method.
And then Dr. Alicia giving some feedback that only referring to questions and have tried already in test 1, students were able to come in again and take the same exam if set at 1. So this one, I'm not too sure. If the attempt set at 1, they still can come in again. I have never
Okay, usually when the
experienced.
okay. Okay. If you follow, okay, what happens is if you set it at 1, it won't happen. Okay. If
All
it
right.
happens, maybe you did not set it at 1. However, if you haven't not set it at 1, if the student answered twice, when you go and look at their results, right, the attempt, when you go and look back for their marks, they will tell you what time he entered and what time is not entered. So you can go back and look at the first attempt, because the timing will be different, right? The second attempt will be the later day. So they'll give you, if let's say Rush entered twice and attempted twice, you will know the first attempt and you will know the second attempt. So you still can go back and take the first attempt if it happened. Okay. Any more questions? I hope I answered.
Raj, this is Michael.
Yes, hi, Michael.
Can I ask if you set the start date with time and also enable the end date with time, do we still need to set the durations for the test?
This one here, is it?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Yeah, when you open the quiz and close the quiz is open in PutraBlast. Means student can log into PutraBlast, right? Correct. And then they can log in. So what happens is the time limit here is, this is the time limit for the exam only, to answer the exam, right? So what happens is I always love to give a bit earlier and a bit later, because in case what happens is sometimes students say, doctor, my internet connection is slower, I can't upload. Because sometimes you say you want essay, you want to upload the essay, so they might take time. Means they have to, either what they have to do is, if you put it exactly at 2 hours together with the time limit is, then within that 2 hours they're supposed to answer the exam, they have to also upload the answers into PutraBlast, if you know what I
Okay.
mean. So I
So
usually
does
give
it,
them a flexible, okay, if it's 2 hours, now if you haven't uploaded, you can upload. Means they cannot answer any more questions, but they can still upload the answers
okay, that is
before the
uploading. Let's say I
PutraBlast
have,
is covered.
if I have multiple choices, for example, and I want everyone to do it at the same time within the same time frame. So I should just set enable the open and close the quiz and then not giving them time limit. Is that right?
Give them time limit. I love to put time limit because it's like a timer for them at the side. So when they attempt
Okay.
the question, they'll have a timer. If you don't put a time limit, they won't have the timer. If you know,
Okay.
so
But it's still confined within
I would
the,
suggest to put the timer so they can see how long.
okay, but it's still confined within the time we set for the open and close. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
So
thank you.
yeah. So what happens is, I usually give them. So even if the student attempt, okay, let's say one student, never mind. I think I will take, let's say, the additional minutes. The moment it comes in early also, yeah, you can access. But once they open the exam question, it's still 2 hours. It means if you start early, it's going to finish before even that 2 hours is supposed to start, where everybody starts. So they'll still do the exam in that 2 hours.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, because usually what I do is, the reason I open in PutraBlast is when I ask them to do the to fill in the pledge, to keep in the attendance, to on their Zoom and check everything. So then that is the time that's given the flexibility lah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we
Alright.
have
I hope it answers,
questions.
Michael. Yes.
We have questions from Prof. Chia. What if student doesn't have access to internet?
Okay. If
So
the student, okay. If the student doesn't have access to internet, okay, Prof. Chia, usually what they do is the normal thing we have to do is we have to always inform the students what is needed before the exam date. So a few days before the exam, or even I usually do is usually a week before, tell them that please go and find a nice place. Internet connection is very strong, right? Try to find, if they cannot, then they come and have to address you have to come and tell you lah. Then we have to find ways to address it. So in case the way you can do is there's no right or wrong. So you have to be human and humane as well. So if the student really have problem is
Hi, Raj.
like what we were discussing, one student has no money, really very poor, cannot. So we have to go and pay for the internet connection. Now we'll do lah. We'll go and pay lah, no problem. So you know the kind of thing. Or else come up with other alternative assessment. So they don't sit down here on the day if it happens. Ask them to come. If it happens, then you have an alternative for them to answer. So you have alternative assessment. So it's maybe a essay based or other things that they don't have to be online. But the level or have to be almost similar to your exam level. It's not an easy thing.
Hi, Raj.
Yeah, there is some
What
flexibility.
if the students halfway doing the questions and electricity, power off and all these things, and suddenly internet and not connecting, and then there might be these reasons. How do we overcome this problem?
Then that kind of reason may happen, may not happen. Give them the alternative assessment.
So we have to prepare alternative one.
Sorry?
We have to prepare the alternative.
Alternative means you have to give them other form of assessment which is not online based. So it means you might have to give them essay where they have to review or give them an article to debate on the article. So that kind of information. So you have to give them a few homeworks lah. So homework so that the level is still similar to the test. It's more challenging. Will happen. It may happen. Okay. So because of the internet, so you cannot read. That's why it's important for them to always check first before. That's why you say you always check before the exam. If they have any problem, you can iron out before the actual date of the exam. And always prepare alternative because it might happen.
Okay, so thank you, Dr.
Any more
Raj.
questions?
Yeah, Dr. Chia said she likes the Safe Exam browser, these features. She likes these features in the PutraBlast. And she asked if the student intend to print screen or snip and clip the screen on the on the exam questions, can PutraBlast prevent that?
Sorry, I did not understand. What is that? How is that?
Yeah, she
paste.
said that, oh yeah.
It means copy paste, snip.
Copy and paste.
Yes,
Copy
yes,
and
Raj,
paste.
here is Paixi.
Hi, Paixi.
Yes, student saya mungkin sangat nakal, mungkin dia nak print screen and they will have a whole collection of the questions when they move forward.
Yeah.
So will PutraBlast able to prevent that? Sometimes they can just snip and clip now.
No, PutraBlast, if the Safe Exam browser will stop copy paste, stop taking pictures in that laptop, but it doesn't stop students from taking a photo and taking picture.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they can take using their cell phone and so on, right?
Cell phone and stuff. Yeah. So there are other ways, but in the laptop which they are using, they can't have the option, but they still can find the question through many ways. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good question.
So we have a lot of communication happen in the chat box.
Correct. So students, where there's a will, there's a way for cheating.
Okay, so Dr. Amania suggested give set B later, lepas internet atau elektrik dah ada.
Yeah.
So okay, and then Prof. Chia mentioned they can take photo using their phone. That's true. We cannot stop them.
You can't stop that.
Yeah, this happened to my students when we noticed, how come their answer is very similar, then we notice something happened. Right?
Yeah, correct. What the students do is they open a WhatsApp chat together, the group, and then they'll just look, because they're looking at the screen, so you thought you are looking. But there's ways to do it if you want it to do lah. But whatever it is, like you see, like for medic students, they, whether they like it or they don't like it, they need to have at least 2 devices when they carry out exams. So I don't think health sciences is that that demanding from the in terms of, so medic student needs 2 devices, so at least they can look at it. But there's ways to do it now as well. I managed last time. I never did. I wanted to do, I had an idea, but I never go for it. I felt very bad. I was like, hello, please at least trust the student a bit. But what to do is you can ask them to put a mirror behind. You know, when you have your Zoom and they have to on their video, so you can see the environment. Okay, so you can see if they're chatting or whatever. So, but then a bit hard. But if you want to do, yes, there's proctoring ways to do it. But yeah, can be done if you want to. Okay, but is there any 100% safe? No, I don't think so. Okay. Any more questions? Or shall I proceed first?
Dr. Amania mentioned kita buat apa yang termampu saja. We
Yeah.
can do what we able to
Apa
do.
yang termampu. Yeah. Lepas tu kita redha lah. Kan? So, but one thing you have to mind, if it's a HOTS question, right? Those kind of things can really reduce tremendously, because they would not have enough time to do all this, because they have to analyze and look at the question and think about the question. It's not like, oh, it's memorization, just tell answer A, B, C, D. So if it's HOTS, it will also reduce those kind of tendency to look around, because it takes too much time and you don't have enough time to answer the exam question. So they'll reduce those looking around for answers option if it's a HOTS question.
Okay, so we can proceed.
Okay, so now this safe exam mode. So this is a safe exam browser. Okay, at the moment, this is a statement. For UPM in PutraBlast, safe exam browser is functional. Having said that, Kate and IDEC are still improving their configuration. Therefore, the thing that I can tell is, if you want to use it for your final exam now, you may do so, but you may have challenges. If you have those challenges, please do let us know. So what I advise is, if you're going to plan to use safe exam browser for this current semester, for the exam in 2 weeks time, the final exam, please do a trial run with student before the exam. At least you know whether your safe exam browser is working or not, or if you have any challenges. And if you have already used, I would appreciate if you can let me know whether it's successful or unsuccessful, or you think it's not good. Let us know. I can provide this feedback to IDEC, because they really want the feedback. Okay, so if you want to try it before the day of the exam, not during the day of exam. So, but this safe exam browser will be functional by next semester. That one is guaranteed. That's what they say. But now it's just glitches, because they are worried that the configuration is not how to say, it's not up to scratch. And what we requested from Kate is, IDEC is to UPM come up with their own configuration, so that the lecturers just have to click the configuration. We don't have to design the configuration. That's what we want. Okay, but if you want, I can show you how to do it roughly. Okay, so safe exam browser here is, if you want to require the use, I'll say yes. Okay, so here you got 3 options. Okay, configure manually, which is what you have to select. And then you have here, you have 2 other options. Upload my own configuration. If you want to design your own configuration, you can do so, or use SEB client configuration. We don't have this option. We don't have any clients using. There's another one which we're creating. Use UPM's configuration. We hope to do that. So you just can click that. It's all configured for you. Now, at the moment, if you want to use now, if you want to do a trial run, just you have to configure manually. So you have to click manually, then it comes up. What happens here is this one. Okay, save. So now this is a way you have to do the configuration. Save, show safe exam browser download button. If it's no, put it yes. Okay, we have to click it yes. So what happens is, when the student go and sit for the exam, right, in the front page first, before they can attempt the exam, they have to say, please change it to SEB, safe exam browser mode. So what they'll provide is, if you do not have the app, so what student has to do is they have to download. they download the software, and they have to install the software in their laptop. So what happens is then they have the option to download the software, and then once they have already downloaded, then they have to launch the software. Then only they can attempt the question. If they don't do that, they cannot open the question. They cannot attempt the question. Okay, I'll show you later on when we have done it. So now we're just setting up. So show exam, and then this one is to show exit button. So always good to show the exit button. Okay, if you do not show the exit button, what happens is student have to switch off the computer and on back for it to be out of the SEB mode, the Safe Exam Browser mode. So what you can do is you should just put in UPM's email lah. Then you have exit, click on the UPM's email, it will come out. Okay. You have to put HTTPS lah, HTTPS anything lah. If you want to go back to your PutraBlast also can, any website, okay. And then ask users to confirm quitting, and then you set everything as their default. Okay. And then one thing I like to add is to just make sure that the student really can come out, you can put in a password. So you can click here and put in the password. So you have to give the students this password if they want to quit SEB. So once they come out, they cannot come in back. So then you know the students, if in between the exams they're doing something, then you know, then you cannot accept their answer. So you can put whatever if you want. You cannot know lah. So here is also you cannot see. So I just put 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just tell the students if you want to quit SEB, if they ask you what's the password, this is the password. If you do it so, then you cannot attempt the exam anymore. So this is the things lah. Okay. So always have a password protected to quit. So at least then you know the students or really have to confirm before they accidentally. So Dr. Goga accidentally press exit. It won't happen because you have to key in the password. And then others, you keep everything as default. Okay, that's all. All right, and then here, if you look at down, some more, if you have any more attempt, if you want to save, you want to put a password for the whole exam before they enter the one, you can provide if you want to. Okay, and then this one all we don't change too much. Feedback, because we're not doing feedback because it's final exam, and we don't change anything. So I'll just save and display. Then I can go up to the mode. I'll show you. So what happens now is, okay, okay, just cancel for the time being. So you can put any URL link if you want to, but usually it should work. www. Just kejap,
Got 2 dots, Dr. Raj.
www, lupa www.
After UPM got 2 dots. That's why.
Oh yeah, Sekejap ya, tengah hang sekarang. PutraBlast. Taking time.
We have questions
yes.
and feedback from the chat box. Dr. Tam said she have tried the Safe Exam Browser for test 2 and it worked well for her students.
Okay, good.
And then Dr. Gita asked, what were the challenges or glitches like with this Safe Exam Browser?
The glitches will be students not able to download, student does not download and they want to try, they want to try to attempt the exam. So they tell you, doctor, I already do it, but I have not do it. You know what I mean? So then they'll say, doctor, I can't attempt, but I've already downloaded, but they might have not downloaded. But these are some of the challenges you might happen. So that's why the set B, the alternative assessment may come in hand, and it may come handy if required. Okay. So this is how the front page looks like. So if you go in here, okay. So what happens here is it will inform the students attempt, how many attempts are allowed. Then this is open when, close when, and how long is the time limit. This quiz has been configured so that students may only attempt if using the Safe Exam Browser. So what happens is, because I have not downloaded, so there is only one box here. So they have to download, and then once they download, there's another box here which says launch configuration, launch SEB. So if student has already downloaded, first there's option to download here. So you click, it will automatically download the software, and you have to install the software. Then once they have done that, then there's launch. So once you launch, then you can go and attempt the question at the bottom. Then you can say, please, then you can just say attempt a quiz. So they'll attempt the quiz. Okay. So this is how SEB is. What the students have to do is they have to download SEB, right, and install SEB. Then when during the exam, they just have to click launch, and then it should be fine. It opens up, and then they can just answer the question as in PutraBlast as normal. So that's all. That is what it's supposed to do for SEB. No other problems. Okay.
Okay,
So, any questions?
Dr. NZ mentioned I have tried SEB configuration. Few students have problem with their laptop lagging and their laptop can't support this SEB.
SEB takes about quite a big data. So students must make sure that their laptop, their memory space is adequate. If it's inadequate, then there is a problem.
And then Dr. Armania asked, SEB software ambil masa berapa lama untuk download?
Macam biasa. Okay, if I can share, can you see this? Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, if you don't want to go into the configuration, when they say download, you'll come up to this SEB punya website juga. So you have 3 versions. It's the same thing as how you install any apps. Same thing. Okay, any software or any apps. You have for Windows, you have OS, you have for your iPad. So you have this thing. So you just have to click this. So it's like the normal, less than 1-2 minutes. Macam tu sahaja. So that's why I say it's very important to do it with the students a few days and give them practice run before the day of exam, or else they have too many questions. Doctor, how to do? Because they have no experience. So we provide the experience before the day of the exam. Okay.
We have a question from Dr. Elisha. Have all the students been informed about the SEB, and then is it compulsory now for the students to download SEB?
No.
No, okay.
Students are not informed. It's not compulsory depending on body bicara of the lecturers. Okay, at the moment, it's like that. The stand is that it's not compulsory. It's all for you to use for proctoring. Okay. So, any questions regarding SEB?
So far, no.
Okay, so yeah, simple as that. Set it so students have this screen download option. Kalau dia tak download lagi, you can download, and then another option here, launch. Kalau dia dah download, dia launch, it goes into the same mode as PutraBlast. But only thing now, they cannot cut and paste, they cannot take photo, they cannot print screen, they cannot take anything in that laptop which they use. Okay, so now we don't have question. So now we want to put question in this exam sheet. They put edit quiz as normal. Then come up here. Now this is where your bank is. So now you want to say, okay, your maximum grade, okay, let's say it's 40 marks for your final is 40. So you can put 40 and then you just save it lah. Now they can, now you can have option here. The add option. So you have 3 options. Either you want to add a new question, or if you got previous question banks you want to use, so you can go to the previous bank. So if I click, okay, I have so many exam bank question, so got so many. So you just have click, and then you can come up with a new exam set question if you want to do that. Okay, that's how it's done. All right, and then this one, a random question, is the same thing, whereby you go there and then you click and then you tell them which random question you want them to choose. So within the list that you have, they will randomize and choose that question. It's the same thing. But now let's say if it's new. Okay, so a new one, you have the 15 questions that I talked to you about just now, right? You have the 15 questions here, all here. Okay, for multiple choice up to all those, select missing words. These are all the options. Okay, I'm going to, because of time, so I got only 1 hour to explain all this. Okay. Multiple choice, I think you roughly know now. If you choose multiple choice, I would say for experience, it's good for multiple choice. I know medical does multiple true false. There's no way in the PutraBlast that you can put in multiple true false, but you can change multiple true false into an MCQ. So like, which is all the false statement, which is the right statement. So you can ask 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. You know, that kind of options. You can, when you have a statement, then you have 3 or 4 points, and then so which points are correct or incorrect, then you give A 1, 2, 3, B 1, 2, 3, 4, C 1, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, D. Something like that. You can adapt it into multiple choice questions. Okay, so if I'm going to do MCQ, I'm going to click add. Okay, so it comes up. with this. Okay, so question name. So you say MCQ. This is my question. It's an MCQ. I'll go in and type MCQ. Okay, what is my question? Sekejap ya, I'll just copy. Okay, this is the question. What is the most common type of thyroid carcinoma? Okay, this is an example question. It's not the right question. Okay, so this is the only question. Then you want to put what default mark. If you want 1 mark, 2 marks, 3 marks, up to you how many marks you want to give. Okay, and then this is the feedback. If you're going to, if normal quiz, you can provide feedback, but for exam, we do not provide. And then here the answer option, one or multiple answers. So you can choose whether you have multiple answers. So you can do that, or multiple true false as well. If you can put it in and you can choose as well, you can do so here as well. Okay, but let's say usually it's only one answer which is correct, and then you always click shuffle or the choices so that you shuffles. So not everyone will have the same A or same B or C or D. That's reducing the what is this? Proctoring, increase proctoring, reducing cheating. And then what kind of choices you want, ABC or 1, 2, 3 or no numbering, up to you. We choose MCQ, usually A is ABC capitals. Okay, we don't show standard instruction. So now that is the question. The question is up here. Now we have to give the option A, B, C, D. Okay, so answers one, I just copy. So I'm just copying. Okay, follicular carcinoma is not the right answer. Okay, so if it's not the right answer, you put it none the grade here. Okay, this answer would be papillary carcinoma. Next, for example, so papillary. Number B is papillary carcinoma. So this is the right answer. I can give them 100 marks, means is the right answer, because you need one answer correct. If you have multiple correct answer, then you have, okay, let's say you have given them 10 choice, they have to choose the 4 right answers, then you can give 25, 25, 25, 25 for each. Then you can get the multiple true false type of question. Okay, we can do that question here. And HOTS question, the multiple true false is a better option for HOTS types of question. I'm just copying everything. Okay, so you have this one no answer, this one no marks. So that's it. This is your MCQ. Okay, so this is how MCQ looks like. You put in the question. There are how many 4 possible answers. So they just have to choose one answer, which is choice number 2, and they get their full marks of it. Okay, so this is how you can do. And then of course you don't have any feedbacks, you don't have tries. If you want to have option 1, 2, 3, 4, then you want to change the ABC become not the answer, it becomes the answer of 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you give your options 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So after this question, 1 is what, 2 is what, 3 is what, 4 is what. Then you give here A, 1, 2 and 2, B, 2 and 3, C, 1, 2, 3, D, all of the above. Then that's how you do it. Okay. So because of time, I don't want to be, I guess everyone has already now uses multiple MCQ very much, right? So this is how a quick glance of MCQ. And then it comes up here. So if you look here, this is the icon of MCQ. You can check here. If you want to edit, you can edit here. The questions back again, you can edit MCQ. And if you want to delete the question here, you can. And then you want to decide again after you clean, but you say, I don't want to give 1 mark, I want to give 2 marks. You can change here. So this MCQ is worth now 2 marks. So you can edit, click the pen and then push enter, you get 2. And then one thing option very nice is here, the student, what the student see. So you can click here, it comes out a blue one. Can you see the blue screen is coming up?
Oh, no. It's not showing.
Okay. Not showing?
No.
Okay, same like that. Okay, now I stop sharing. Now I share the blue one, how the student looks like. Okay. Can you see now?
It's appearing.
Okay.
All right, we can see right now.
Okay, so this is the student view. So this is how the student will look at the answer. Okay, so this is question 1. What is the most common type? So they have to choose A, B, okay, C, or D. So this is how the student will look like, okay? This is how it looks like in terms of the student's view. And then it's very good to always go and check that you do whether it's correct or not. It's not shown, marks is not shown. Sometimes the marks are not shown, sometimes it automatically default is wrong. So always double check all the information down here before you click. And then once you're happy, just set it, save it, and then you close the preview. Okay, I just want to leave. This is how this MCQ looks like. Any questions for MCQ?
No question from the MCQ, but Dr. Aniza has a question about students. If the students are required to log into Google Meet, do they have problem with the SEB if they open Google Meet from browser tab?
The Google Meet is you open, so it's fine as long as it goes. I have not tried. I have not tried SEB yet, but I think it should not be a problem. But let's see, Dr. Chowling. Dr. Chowling, did you ask student to open a Zoom before?
Dr. Chowling is here.
Yeah, she is here. Zoom or Google Meet?
Is it able to open both at the same time? I think maybe, yeah.
Taraj, Haniza here.
Yes, Haniza.
My question is actually, when we do proctoring, right, we require the student to open cameras. And when they open the cameras, they have to log into, of course, they have to log into either Zoom or or Google Meet. So currently, for medical students, they are required to log in from Google Meet. So some students, they log in from the browser tab instead of the apps.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So,
good to know.
And plus, if we use Safe Exam browser, I was informed that you cannot jump into other tabs, right? You are locked to that screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the thing that, sometimes Google Meet will interfere.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, that's why we ask that anybody who have experience, please let us know, because we can put this input and then come up with the thing. Thank you so much, Dr. Haniza, for letting us know as well. So yeah, so maybe then the second option, the option would be if they have another alternative. But yeah, I'll try to test this as well again, and then I'll see. But at the moment, yeah, something to think about if they can open their Zoom or their Google Meet as proctoring mechanism. Okay. All right, moving on. I'm just going to go and share my screen again. Moving on. Okay, add another question. Now this is true, false. Okay, here the true, false is very, very simple. It's only one statement, whether it's true or false. There's no multiple true, false. So it's all that kind of, only that kind of questions they have. Okay, so if the question is, okay, so for multiple, can you see the screen? So three. If you cannot see the screen, let me know. But this is true, false question. So this is a statement. Papillary carcinoma is the most common type of carcinoma. So whether so this is the marks if you want to put. If you got feedback, if you want, but exam no feedback. Correct answer. Correct answer is either true or false. This is true statement. So that's all. That's it. So it's either true or is it false, and then nothing else. You don't have to put feedbacks and everything. No tries, multiple tries, just one try. So you save changes. That is true and false type of question. Put a statement and then decide which is what is the right answer. Is it true or false? And that's all. And then they'll do auto marking. So these are telling the answer so that they can do auto marking. So MCQ can do auto marking. True and false can also do auto marking. I'm just going to stop sharing, so I'll show you the student's view.
Dr. Kyrie mentioned, is it possible to use two different browsers while using the SEB?
Two different browsers. That one I have to try, doctor, because I have, frankly speaking, I have not tried, but roughly, Dr. Chowling, are you there? If you are there, maybe you can share with your experience. I don't think she's there. Yeah, let's wait towards the end for SEB, then I can put down the question and I can get back to you. But because it's locked, so if it's locked, I don't think you can go to any other browsers.
Yeah,
right?
It's supposed to function that way, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to function that way.
And Dr. Zawia mentioned about maybe open Google Meet at Chrome, PutraBlast and other browser, for example, Microsoft Edge. Will it be possible and solve the
Oh,
problem?
I will try, because if that can be done, students can use that as well to cheat.
True.
But very good, should try. Wait, let me put a note.
There are so many ways to cheat, right?
To cheat, wow, very good. Two different browsers. Okay. I'll try all this over the weekend and see how it looks like. Okay. Can I just continue?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay, so if you can look, this is how the students, can you look at this? This is how the student will view the true and false question. Please select one. So it's either true or false. So they just have to choose one, either this or either true or false, and always check the bottom, all the information, then you're happy, just close the preview. That's how it looks like, okay? That is true and false. Now we go into, now we go to the third type of questions. Sorry if I'm going fast, you let me know to slow down, because now you got experience. So I'm trying to go a bit faster because I want to show you some other more challenging one. Okay, now this is a matching question. So you give a statement, then they have to match the right possible answers. This is where it goes up a bit more in terms of the, not to say difficulty, but students will think a bit more because there's more options given. Okay, matching. Then this is my question for matching. Okay, the question is please select the best match. Okay, so I'm giving so what happens if you look down here? Okay, the mark according to you, no feedback, shuffle, of course. Now answer. So what they always say here is you have to provide at least 2 questions and 3 answers. So what I like to do is I like to give as many statements as I want, and then they have to find the matching. And then what I give is I give more option for them to choose. So the answers will be more. If I give 5 questions, then the answers will be maybe 10. So they cannot even think. And then, you know, if you give 5 and 5, chances to mix and match is higher, right? They have higher chances. So I always give more answers compared to the questions. Okay, so let's say simple questions, match the possible. If I say lung, the answer, the right, you have to put the right answer here, respiratory. If I say question liver, liver, what's the function? So it's metabolism. Contohnya, okay. All right, so kidney, if it's kidney, then it's going to be excretion. So at the moment they only give you 3. If you want more, you can put it more. Okay, so now I got 3 questions, but I have 3 answers. So I want to increase the answers. What I can do is I can go and put more answers at the bottom without putting the question. So question 4, we have no question, so I'll just put some more absorption. Okay, absorption. And then one more, I'll put a distribution. Okay, so I have 3 questions and 5 answer options. And then if I look down, no feedback, no tries, there's save changes. Then it comes out, and I'll show you the, so it comes up here. Okay, so if you look here, each page has only 1 question because this is what I set it as. And if you think you want to ask a matching question before question number 2, you can see the cross here, just drag it and move up, no problem. You can move wherever you want the questions. Okay, so now I'll stop sharing and share the student view. Okay, so this is the, can you see? So this is where the please select the best match. So liver, then this is the options. So remember there's not got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have to choose the right one. Okay, so this is where, so they just have to choose the right one. So So they cannot agak-agak lah, you know, think if you give 3 questions, you got 3, then it's a bit difficult lah. So you just have 2 distractors or more distractors. So the more the merrier lah. So this is how you do. So this is how it looks like in the terms of matching in PutraBlast setting. All right. Okay, now I'll stop. Sorry, I'll stop sharing, and I'll share a new one. Right, and now, so another question, a new question. So now we have gone through already MCQ, true and false, and matching. Now this is short answer. Okay, short answer is yeah. So you give a very isi tempat kosong type of question. Okay, it's isi tempat kosong. So just wait for it.
We have one question from Dr. Khairi regarding the matching. If there are more than one question based on the same statement or diagram, can we shuffle this set of questions?
If you have more than
one question based on the same statement or diagram, can we shuffle this set of questions?
Shuffle means that 5 within one statement, the 5 options are within there. There's no shuffling because they have to choose already. That's why you give distractors.
Dr. Maharaj.
Yeah.
I mean that there are one diagram or one statement, but there are 2 or 3 questions based on that diagram or statement.
Oh, okay. Then you can give in the way I said, please do this. Please select the best match. So you can upload the diagram or even the audio or whatever on that question, and then say, please answer this question according to the statement above, or the image above, or whatever, or the audio above, or the video above. Boleh?
But there are few questions based on that diagram.
Yes. Then you can give the options. But
so
then
we can shuffle the question.
Then the question will be shuffled bottom lah. The diagram won't be shuffled. The diagram will be there. Okay, but the 3 questions will pop up together because they're all done in a group.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, this is for the short answer question. Short answer. So this is a short answer. Okay, so short answer is isi tempat kosong. So you want to give them a statement and they want to isi tempat kosong. Okay, so what I usually like to do is, of course, I say please drag and drop. That is the instruction, and this is the answer plus the question plus the answer lah. Okay, here is pineal gland regulates melatonin and circadian rhythm. Okay, so what I want them is, I want pineal gland to be the tempat kosong. Okay, and also, okay, let's say I want to have 2 tempat kosong. Then becomes nicer. So what the student have to do is they have to select, right, the answers and put it in the tempat kosong 2. So what happens is, if this is the answer, so I want it to be a tempat kosong, so I put the brackets, close X, means I want to find what is the number for the right answer, and open and close bracket, regulates melatonin, and then here maybe I say I want them to choose N, for example, close, and then X, circadian rhythm. So this is your question. This is you're telling the system, this is my question. So if you scroll down, okay, the marks and the feedback, you know what to do. Okay, here if you want to say it is case sensitive or not. So if student answered, okay, sorry, okay. If student want to answer, okay, tak boleh bolehlah 2 soalan. Okay, let's say 2 soalan. Wait, short answer, sorry, that one is option number 2. Okay, sorry, short answer question can only answer 1 answer. Okay, multiple is the other next one where you can do multiple short answer within the question. Okay, that we'll do later. Okay, so this is, let's say this one, X regulates melatonin and circadian rhythm. So the answer is pineal gland. So what happens is, you have to put the answers here. So if the student answer, pineal gland. So that is the right answer. And then on top here, you can see if is it case sensitive or not. If you want it to be capital letters and you want it to be considered that, oh, if it's not capital letters wrong, then you can say yes, case must match. If it's not, it doesn't matter whether it's capital or small letters, it's fine. They'll still take the answer. So if the answer is pineal gland, then you give them 100 marks because it's the right answer. Okay, right answer. But then you have to remember, this you are telling the system that if what are all the possible right answer. So if the student answer pineal is also correct because they're asking what gland, right? So pineal can be also considered right answer. You can give them, if you want to give them 90 or 100 marks also, you may do so. So you can put it in here. Okay, so you're giving all the answers options which are can be considered correct. Let's say somebody when they type somewhere in brain or brain, either lah, very close lah, almost lah, maybe maka kesian, I want to give them 5 marks. So I give them 5 marks if it's like this. So you can add all the possible answer to answer that statement. Okay. So what happens here now, you go under save. The reason why it was only 1 is because for short answer question is the student has to type in the answers, right? Okay, and then you put all the options so that you can do automatic marking. So you don't have to do the marking yourself. Okay, I'll stop sharing. I'll show you the students option. Okay, so can you see? X, if you want to put this X like this, you can do X, regulates melatonin and circadian rhythm. If you want to put it a straight line, you can do so as well, no problem. Okay, so here then student just type the answer, pineal or pineal gland, then it's fine. Then check the option at the bottom, okay, and then tell them. So give students a practice of what kind of question you're going to do exam so they know. Okay, my students know that if it's X is means tempat kosong. Okay, if you want a dotted line, straight line pun boleh, no problem. All right, yeah, stop sharing this one now, close preview.
When we want to do the automatic marking, we have to consider all the possible answer. Yeah, if not,
Yes,
we will miss the correct answer.
Yeah, so yeah, so you always can do. So give all the possible correct answer. And then if you think you still not okay, if you want automatic, you still can go back and look at the answers and see if all the students are okay. You can look at the answers back, and if you want to give back more marks, you can give as well. Okay, if you think that the answers can still be accepted, but it was not in your list, boleh? Okay. So the next type of question is numerical. I won't talk. Okay, essay. Should I go with essay or not? Okay, boleh lah. I go very quickly, sebab of time. Okay, essay is you give them an essay question, right? Whether it's one big statement or you have A, B, C, D, you can do it. Okay, it doesn't matter if you can have multiple essay questions, you can do so as well. Okay, you want to separate it in, you want to put it in one, you can. You want to separate it to few essays questions in few links, no problem as well. Okay, essay question is simple. Okay, so you can just put the essay. Typing in.
Sorry to interrupt. We have one question from Dr. Shahrizim, and regarding the just now, is the short answer sensitive to plural or singular answer, like with S or without S, pineal gland, pineal glands?
Okay. So what you can do is then if you are very worried about it, though, you can have the right answer, pineal gland, pineal glands also can.
Or you have to, for example, without the space and so on.
Yeah, without the space. So all the options that you think student might answer, yeah. But the right answer is always pineal gland because there's only one. There's no numerous. But yeah. But in case got S, then you have to put the option down in the correct one.
Potong markah.
Kalau tak potong markah. Kalau don't want to give 100%, give 90% pun boleh, up to you. Yes. But you have to put the option, singular or plural. You have to put in the options there. Okay, let's say this is briefly describe the regulation of plasma potassium. So this is the essay question. So 8 marks. Then here, then you can put here 8 marks because you tell them 8 marks already, right? Okay. Here now the response is here. This is where you want response format. Always keep it HTML because it's what the computer works. Now you can have the option of whether you want student to type the answers in the text or you want them to attach, so they can just put in a word. But then if it's SCB, then there might be a problem with that lah. But I haven't tried. I am also going to try lah. So attachment. Okay. So I usually do what is I allow student to put in text. In case they cannot upload, they still can copy and paste and then put it on top here. Okay, so here is the required text, means in the box itself got text they can put. So you want to put how many lines? So this is eight questions. You can put 10 or 15 lines, doesn't matter. And then if you want them also to allow attachment, you can just say yes, I want them to allow attachment. So either one attachment or two, depending on you. So usually it's one attachment. Okay, required of attachment, whether it's optional or is it a must. Okay, so I put it as optional because if they put it in text, it's fine. If they upload an attachment, it's also fine. Then what you can set also is what kind of files you allow them to attach. So if you want all, you can. If you just say no, I don't want, I want it to be in documents file, which is doc, EPUB, GDoc, whatever, PDF, you can just click this. Means any other forms will not be accepted. So I always say student, please got time, please PDF version. I don't want words version. The reason why is PDF version, when you click on the student answer, it can just pop up in PutraBlast. If it's Word, you have to download and read the question. So I always tell them, please save it in PDF and upload it. Because then when I want to exam, I just click the name, the PDF comes out in PutraBlast itself. I don't have to download their answers. Okay, so I do that one. Okay, I usually do that. So I always only put this. But if you want them to put images, if you ask them to draw, because they cannot draw with the computer on with the mouse is difficult, they can draw on a piece of paper, take a picture. Then they either can put a JPEG, PNG or whatever. Then you can say image file is also acceptable. Then you can say whether it's BMP ke JPEG ke, right? Okay, or JPEG ke, all right, or either PNG ke, then it's fine. So you can select. All right, and then you can tell them these are all the acceptable attachment. Then you just allow now if you want to go through. So save changes. So you tell the system that they only allow to PDF and images only. Then you can save it and it comes out as this, like this. So PDF only, doc files, and then what kind. Okay. So you don't do a response template. You don't have any information, no text. The save changes. Okay. So now we'll go into the student view of this question.
So sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
So question from Dr. Elisha. Dr. Raj, if we just click the image file without clicking the options, is this okay?
Image where? Image file, clicking the image file without the option. Where is this, Dr. Elisha?
I think she mean the one that
the one that you were setting just now, Dr. Raj. So when you click the image file and then you've got an option whether the student can upload in JPEG or PNG.
Yeah.
Or if I just click on the image file and not.
Yeah, fine. No problem. No problem.
That means
any form of image file is fine.
Yes. It's accepted.
It's accepted. Can whatever it could be your preference. Yes, you can do so. Okay, just share. Okay, can you see this question, right? So yeah, so this is the essay question. Briefly describe the regulation of plasma potassium, 8 marks. So student can type in the answer here. Okay, they can just type in X, Y, Z, so they have a lot. Okay, and then what they can do is they can either put the font, they can bold, italic, put points form and nothing else. Okay, that's it, basic. And then if you want this is where the option they can put in their text. If you want an attachment, then they can just download and then upload the attachment here. And these are all the accepted files. So they'll inform the students. So you can just use image. If you want image, you want PDF documentation. So this is how it looks like. You can have both, you can have either or. But of course, you have to remember one file is about 50 megabytes. Last time was 80, now it's 50. Because of course you don't need bigger, but usually this is how it looks like on students' view. So student can either type in or put an attachment. Okay, but if you say attachment is a must, then before students submit, they'll always say you cannot progress until you upload because it's S3. Okay, you have to upload. All right, so this is how it looks like. Okay, I'll still got time a bit. Okay, now it's essay already. Now another new question. Wow, another new question. Okay, essay done. Okay, so I'll go another two more things to show you. Okay, calculation. I told you I have experts. If you want the advanced mathematical equation, what I'll show you now today is drag and drop into text. I'll try to cover these three. Okay, embed answers and close. I told you just now it's a bit more tedious. Maybe if you want, you let me know. It's actually what happened is within a big macam karangan, isi tempat kosong kat tempat many areas. So what you have to do is then you have to tell the system what is the answer of this, what kind of answers do you accept. Is it only words or is it combination words with numbers, letters with numbers, or is it numbers only? So it's a bit more tedious. So you have to remember 5-6 type of coding like MCS or MDS or MC sahaja. So banyak tu. So I won't touch on this. But if you want to know, come and see me. No problem. And then this one is almost similar. You can try yourself. This is when you want to randomize short answer matching. Means it's short answer matching but with random answers. So you can put multiple short answers within it. And then select missing word is also similar. You have statements. You can choose to select the words and put in. This one easy as what you've learned up above. It's the same thing. So you can try as well. Okay, so I won't touch it. Now I'll touch until this tree because I don't think we use this much. This option very often. Okay, let's go with the drag and drop. Drag and drop into text means you give a text, then the answer, students can pick up the answer and put in each of the tab that they want to. So this is drag and drop DD. Okay, I put DD. So let's say this is the oh no, not the answer. No, this statement. I don't like this statement. I don't like this statement. Pula. Let's put the pineal one. The pineal gland is the easiest. Okay. So what happens here is, okay, so this is the answer and the question. So if you look down here, if you look, okay, marks and this thing, I won't try. Here they have choices. They have choices and they have grouping. So if you have one statement and you want them to pick up more than one answer, that's now the short answer is you have to type in the answer. This one is you give the answer, they just have to go and match it. Okay, so let's say pineal gland. So same thing, this is where the tempat kosong is. I'll just put it as X. So pineal gland regulates, okay, melatonin, and I want to say circadian. It's not all, it's both. So it's also X, close and open brackets, circadian rhythm. This is to tell the system this is where the tempat kosong are. I put it X because X has to be a number, but I'll show you where the number is. So example at the bottom here. Okay, this one you don't do anything much because it's nothing. Here you can shuffle the option. So can you see close and open bracket, double, close, double, close. So this is to tell what is the answer for the first bracket and the second bracket. So the first answer would be pineal gland. Okay, that is the answer. So and then so you have the answer for that. Okay, so this is the answer for this. So and then maybe you want to say is hypothalamus, the wrong answers. Okay, hypothalamus, and let's say then you said that liver. Example, example. All right, liver. So these are the three choices that you want to answer the isi tempat kosong kat sini. Okay, so the right answer is pineal gland. Then you have to give the jawapan yang salah. Can be other so many as many as you want. Okay. Then if you look down here, you have unlimited. Means you click this is unlimited. Means when the children pilih pineal gland, they can still choose pineal gland for other answers. If you want, you can do that. You can click. So it's called unlimited. I'll show you. I just show you one. I'll put that. So the right answer is pineal gland. So it's choice number 1. So you're telling the system that this one X here now is 1. This is the right answer. So for auto marking, so you don't have to mark. So this is the right answer for pineal gland. Now this is the second one. So it's either O or N, right? So I go down. I have put, okay, let's say O first, and then the answer here is N. This is where the N is, and okay. So this is the right answer, so it's number 5. So I have to go up here and put the answers here, number 5. But now the problem is, if you want to group these answers, it means you want to group this pineal gland, hypothalamus, liver to answer only the first part, then you can put this grouping. This is called a grouping. So if pineal gland, hypothalamus, liver is within the same group, then in the first one then is group A. Now this one is N and O, right? I got 2 options. So this will be in the group B. So therefore, the color will be different, the shapes will be different. So student can't use pineal gland to answer the N and O. Okay, I'll show you why later. So the first color is always white, second color is gray. Okay. And the third one is green, if I'm not mistaken. Choice. So this is now group B. So in group B, it's only 2 answers. So student have to choose from these 2 answers. And group A is from these 3 answers. Okay. So this is how it looks like. If you want to add more, you can add. Okay. No feedbacks, no tries. So save changes. I'll stop the screen. I'll show you the student view. What I meant by the colors and the shapes. Okay. Okay, can you see? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, my typo. Okay, my typo is not too good. So ada salah tadi tak apa. Oh, ada salah. I have to go up. Okay, never mind. I'll show you where the salah is later. Okay, so if you look here, can you see these options? Okay. Now it's correct. Okay, system a bit slow, internet a bit slow. So this is salah because I forgot one bracket. So it's always good to check. So what happens is, can you see this is going to show a white rectangle? So these are the white rectangle. The student can go and choose, go and choose, go and choose. Understand? So tadi option, because internet is going to be getting slow already, it's in the afternoon. So if you choose unlimited, it means that after they choose pineal gland, there'll still be another pineal gland here. So there's unlimited pineal glands if you want to choose. If you want to have, means one answer can answer a few answers. One answer can answer a few questions, then it's fine. Okay. And then here, because there's no, I missed one of the brackets, so that's why it doesn't come up. So can you see N and O is different color and different shape? So now N and O will only come and fix here. So here we'll have an empty gray color. So choose, students can choose the options. So you can have as many as you want, okay, to have in one whole statement. So the students can choose. So this is how you do it as well for this, okay? And then check at the bottom and then close preview once you're happy. Okay. So I know tadi my thing is the number 5 is forgot one bracket. So I just put in, it should address the issue, okay? Any questions for this? No, okay. Now share screen.
No.
Now this is the interesting one. Okay, a new question. This is for, now we know already drag and drops into text. Now drags and drop into marker. This is more tedious. This is a tedious one, but it's more challenging. It's more, how to say, I would say this one you have to know, really you have to know because there's no like clue, right? No boxes to tell you what to fill in. Okay, what happens is you have an image, right? And then you got the words at the bottom, right? Okay, the answers. So students have to put the answers on the images, but you don't define which area is where the students are supposed to put. You know what I mean? So they cannot agak-agak. So it's more stringent. I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay. Let's say this is a drop and drag marker. Okay. Here. So I'll say place the best oops. Yeah. Janganlah hang PutraBlast, saya sayang PutraBlast. Okay. Place this is your question lah. Okay, I just type place the best match. So what happens here is how many marks you want to give? You want to give 2, 3, up to you, no problem. Feedback. Here is where this is where it is important. So you want to give them an image. It's called a background image. Okay, so I always have to upload the file. So you have to remember this image. Okay, let's say I want to upload here is the arm. So I want student to identify humerus, radius, ulna, for example. So what they do is I put the image here, so they have to find a humerus and label and put it where the humerus is supposed to be at. Okay, so I'll take the picture first. So I'll of course take a picture, upload a file. Okay. This is a bit more tedious. This is a bit more tedious. This is among the tedious. If you want, it's nice. But okay. Okay. Then I upload the file. You just have to bear in mind the file cannot be more than 50 megabytes. So if the file come up, this is the file here. Okay. So now this is how the image will look like. Now I want to put markers. This is called a markers here. So markers here means I want it to label what. Okay. So marker 1 is humerus. Okay. Let's say. Okay. This is the answers lah. Okay. Radius. Sorry. Okay, can we have a 5 minutes break? There's azan in my area, so it's not nice to talk. Can we have a quick 5 minutes break, please?
Yes, we can have 5 minutes break, and then for those who haven't filled out the registration form, or you can register using the forms post on the chat box. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, Tadi. I do apologize for those I know you're rushing. I do apologize. I feel very bad if I do not stop because I don't know upbringing code is we are used to it. So in the house also, if there is azan, because very close, masjid is very close to my place, radios will be off, TVs will be muted, azan. So it's since those days lah, it's like that. So I terbawa-bawa lah sampai sekarang. So I do apologize if it took a bit of your time, but thank you for making me feel good, Okay, so back to this. So I'm going to have 3 markers. So these are the 3 answers that I'm going to give to the students, right? So they have to now identify where are they supposed to place these markers on this image, okay? So this is the answer. So these are the markers. They can shuffle. And here is either you want to give them 1 or infinite, means it continue. There's so many answers for humorous if you want to do so, okay? And then the most important thing here is drop zone. You're telling the PutraBlast where if the student drop this answer within this zone, is it going to be considered correct or not? So this is where you have to provide your coordinate. Okay, so let's say you can have 3 different shapes, means the boxes I always do rectangular, easy. All right, and the marker is humorous. Okay, for example, there's a marker, I want a polygon for radius, and then circle, circle is for okay, example. Okay, so if you look down here, if we choose already the marker, so now you're going to tell the system, okay, can you see now all the answers are above here, okay? So what you're going to tell the system is, where does the student put humorous is going to be considered as correct. So what happens is, you have this, right? So you're telling the system, wherever the student put is going to be considered correct. So you're defining the border where the student take this marker and put it, you'll be considered as correct. So you have the coordinates, you have the X coordinate, Y coordinate, and how big you want. So here are the coordinates here. So if you look here, I'm just going to do for one. Okay, let's say for humorous, I know humorous above. So this, the first one is X axis. How much of X movements of the horizontal movement is going to happen? So how far is it? So you can go, the biggest is 800, downwards is 600. So between 0 to 800 is the X axis, 0 to 600 is the Y axis. Okay, so let's say if I put 50, okay, example. Oops. Okay, wrong. Okay, make sure the coordinate is betul, 50. Okay, let's say 50 and 50 first. And how big is the size of the box? Okay, let's say 30. So when I change the coordinate, if you look here, humorous is going to move here, right? So what happens is students have to put the marker of humorous within this small square box, then only you'll be considered correct. If they put anywhere outside here, it's not going to be considered correct. So what I want to do is, I want to make sure that it covers all the humorous, because humorous is this. It covers all and not too far out and not too far in. So I want it to be somewhere here. Okay. So you have to play with the coordinates lah. So you play, then you get the answer lah. Okay. But I know already I play yesterday. So 30, 70, 30, then the size is 100 and the box is 100, 130, 70, okay, and 30. Okay, let's see if it happens. Okay, if you look here, so this is where the humorous, this is the answer, humorous. So it covers all of the humorous. So you want to go down a bit more, you can, so you can play the number. So what it says that the moment the student go and put the marker of humorous within this box is going to be considered as a correct answer. If they put anywhere outside, it's going to be considered as the wrong answer. So you're just telling, so you don't have to mark for the exam. You know what I mean? So you have to play with the coordinate lah, naik turun. So x-axis and the y-axis, and then the two last numbers are how big, 50 by 50 or 100 by 100, depending on how big you want. So the tedious part is finding the coordinates lah, if you want to do this. So this one is, you're not telling the student where the answer, so they really have to know where the humerus lies, right? So it's more challenging. So I'm just going to save. Okay, I'm not going to change the others. I don't have to show you because else it will take whole day. No feedback, no try, save changes. Now I'll show you the student's view. So student view here, okay. Can you see this is how it's place the best match. So can you see this is the right answer? So these are the markers on top. Can you see the small circles above? So these are the three things. So you have to find the match. So humerus, remember I told the answer to be somewhere here. So student have to take this marker and put anywhere within here is going to be considered as correct, right? Because I've predefined the answers should be somewhere around here to be correct. If the student put it here, it's going to be wrong because it's outside of the image. So it's always it's good if you can give them practice to play with it so they don't know. So this is where the mark, not this answer they put like this, it's going to be wrong sometimes because the answer is according to this marker on top here, the small one. So always just put like this. Can you see humerus is coming up so many times because I put it as infinite? So you're going to have humerus every time. Then you have radius, only once, right? So it's hilang already. Alna also one. So it hilangs, there's no more. So this is how student can really label correctly without you really telling where they're supposed to put. So this is how the option is for this. Very interesting. Okay, and then check at the bottom all the information, then you close preview. So this is how drag and drop for markers. Okay, now the last one is drag and drop images. Easier option. Easier option. I'll say easier. Why? Because you don't have to find the coordinates. You just give them the box. So you give them the box, they know where to put. So it's a bit more easier, right? But that is more challenging because students really have to know. Okay, so now the last one. I'll still got time. Okay, I might take a bit of time. The last one is drag and drop onto image. So now is this one here. Okay, markers. Okay. This is nice when when you have a cycle or a life cycle or a crab cycle, whatever cycle you want them to complete the whole image like a jigsaw puzzle. You can use this question. It's very good. The question can be either you want to put in words or image. You got two options. Just now it's only options of words. This is option of image and things. So let's say this is drag and drop image. Okay. So now I say let's say okay, same thing. I have a background image is the image that you want the student to place the thing. So this one, let's say I put a life cycle of background. Oh, it's taking time. Okay, and the image here, it can only be in this form. This one, GIF, JPEG, PNG, or either SVG. This kind of things. Sabo. PutraBlast, last question please. After this, you boleh meragam you. Please. I so takut. This is what I want to show. This is interesting a bit. Sekejap ya, PutraBlast is having problem.
I think it's okay to overtime a little bit. The participants are enjoying your talk. We have positive comments from Dr. Alicia and also Dr. Nurul Hayati in the chat box.
Good. Thank you. Dah datang. See positive comment, positive aura. The PutraBlast love membodek. PutraBlast, you're the best. Okay, tengok. Rekindle the love. Okay, now I just choose a profile. So I want to say a life cycle of a frog lah. Because tadi I was playing around because the image have to really play with the image here. A life cycle of a frog. Yes, correct. Okay, I'm just telling this is not perfect. I'm a perfectionist. This image is not a perfectionist. Okay, it's not perfect because there's flaws, but I'll tell you. But the idea, the concept is interesting. Okay, let's say frog background. I got the frog. So I give them a background. Okay, that is where the thing is. So it comes up. Okay, this is the frog background. It's a kitaran hidup of a katak. Okay, can you see? So this kitaran hidup of katak. So I have to give them the 3 answers, and then they have to complete this kitaran hidup sebagai contoh. So they have to put images here or either text here. The most important thing is background image is the image which is fixed there, and then they have to put the answers on. And I always advise for this kind of DD for this drag and drop image, the background image have to be bigger than the answer image, or else the answer image is going to be bigger, you cannot see where you're going to put. Okay, but now don't worry, the coordinates you don't have to find, they automatically find for you. Okay, so what you do is you have this kind of image here, right? Okay, so now you see you have the draggable items, means what the student are going to drag. So you have 2 options here. You can shuffle first, of course. You can have either an image drag or a text drag, and then you can do the grouping. Means if it's within 1 cycle, you want how many answers you can put in, so you can diversify. So I won't touch this one all, and if you want unlimited, you can click it. So you can have the grouping like how we did the grouping before, same thing. Okay, so I'm just going to put image and 1 text to show you. Okay, let's say I'll put an image. So I have to download the image here. So I have to take an image here. Now, let me take an image here. Sekejap ya, let me stop sharing. The system will be a bit quicker. Okay. Don't worry, I'll show it to you. Wait, sekejap. Let me just put the image in sebab I takut kalau dia besar. Okay, all is going in, thank God. Frog 2. Okay. Allow me to share back. Okay, I just say cepat sikit. Okay. So if you can see, I put in okay. So this is my background. So I want to put in the images. So I have this is draggable image. So I put in and copy and upload the image here, frog 1. So you label and then this is another image of frog 2. Okay. And then now let's say this one I don't image, I want text. So I put text, right? What happens here is you just put the text. You don't have to upload, you just put text. Adult frog. Okay, example lah. So you have that ready. Then you just scroll down so you can have many as options you want. Now the result drop zone. So if you click that, okay. So now you know you got 3, right? You got 2 image and 1 text. So you put here. Okay. So the first one, let's say drop 1 is the frog picture. Second one is this. Third one is a text. Okay, I just put in here. Okay. The reason you put in here, then now you have to put the coordinate. But don't worry about the coordinate because you just have to go up to the image. This is easier. Go up to the image, the background image. Now you'll see. Okay. Can you see adult frog? Because it's a text, right? So you just tell the system where you want to put this. Oh, I want to put it here. This is adult frog. Okay, this is text. Oh, image. This is the image. Okay, this is hampir ni adult nak jadi adult. Ni berudu kat sini. So once you just tell the system where the answer should lie, you're just telling the system this is how you put. So when you scroll kat bawah, when you go down, the coordinates will be automatically done for you. So it's easier than that one. But the problem is, no problem. The only thing is, then you have a predefined areas lah. Student know where to put the answers lah. Tu saja. Okay. Now let's look at the, and no feedback, no try, save changes. Okay. Oh, must apply something. Okay. Match. Let's put the match. Okay, habis. Okay, now I stop sharing and I'll show the student view. This is more the interesting, the student view. Sekejap ya, PutraBlast is taking its time. Sayang PutraBlast, you're very good. Berkesan. PutraBlast, you're fantastic. What kind of belief, huh? Not scientific at all. Okay, it's coming up. Okay, so this is how the student will look like. There's a question here, match. Can you see? Match. Then they have the background image, right? So what student has to do is, they have the option down here. This is the option. So what the student do is to have to answer, they have to drag it upwards. They have to drag it and put it here. Okay, slow a bit. Okay, it's still uploading. So here, can you see there is a predefined square already, right? So you're telling the students this is where they're supposed to drop. So you just drag and drop. Sekejap ya, the internet ya, the PutraBlast is slow. Then this one is here, and then this one is going to go here. So this is how the student will answer the question lah. So this is how you can do kitaran hidup of a frog this way lah. Contohnya. So this is how the student will look at it and put in. So it's sort of like filling in the blanks, but it's images blank. Image blank. Okay. So these are, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the options of the types of questions we have in PutraBlast and what you can do with this question. So the flexibility is all up to you. So most questions, whether it's HOTS or not, but usually HOTS question, you still can adapt and put it in PutraBlast. And for majority of it, except for the essay, you can do auto marking. It takes a bit of more time, but then it's easier for you. If you have too many students, automatic marking will be something that you look like, would be a good option. Okay. Last but before this, I just want to share one more thing regarding of how do you want each students to have different questions for, let's say you're assessing 3 topics. Okay, let's say 3 topics, but then you can create, you know what you can do? You can create, let's say I've got 3 topics. I want them to answer. I want to ask 9 MCQs. So you prepare 3, 3, and 3 questions for each topic, right? So you got the 9 MCQ and then you put into it. But what you can do is you can prepare 6 questions for each, right? And segregate them. Therefore, the PutraBlast can choose within the 6 questions. This 6 questions, they can choose 3 to ask the question. So every student will have different questions on the same topic. Means each topic you got 6, so they can ask any 3 from these 6 options. If you provide them 9 options, they can ask any 3 of these 9 options. So you can do that if you want them to have different questions. The only thing is you have to prepare a lot of questions lah. You can do that according to the categories option. I'll show you very quickly. I'll show you very, very quickly. I know timer. Sorry. Share screen. Okay. If you want, okay, so this is how before I go, so you can shuffle the question here as well. You can change the number. This is how the questions will look like in the exam. So you can go and preview if you want to. Like now, if you got already a good bank of questions, you want them to randomize and ask different questions, you can categorize. How do you do is, under this pane here, the navigation pane, you go below, you find administration, you go under question bank. Question banks gives you categories, right? All right. So this is the category. So you click on categories. So they ask you what categories you want. Okay. Have I done it? No. Okay. Okay. So example here is, wait, it's coming up. Scroll bawah. Macam mana ni? Just now I did. Okay. Click here, categories. Okay. Go. Click categories and go under the section of categories. So let's say just now. Okay, I got 3, right? So I have to create 3 categories. So let's say category 1, I name it. Okay, I'll do 2 lah. C1. Okay, category 1. PutraBlast, please bear with me. Okay, that's one category. Okay, so I add category already. Tak keluar. Okay, I got here C1, one category already. So another category I'm going to add, let's say C2, category number 2 means C2. I add, this is just creating categories. All right, so now you click, if you look here under these categories, right, there is no questions. So you can add how many questions. So you can go to the question bank and pilih how many questions you want. Okay, so it's not coming up, it's taking its time. Oh, it's taking time. Sekejap ya, it's taking time.
It's good to have a lot of features in the PutraBlast, but one of the weaknesses is like always hang and slow.
Correct. Now I found plan B, because it's taking time. I'll just share a YouTube from Dr. From Bintulu one. If I can play the YouTube, I'll play with you. It's the same thing, categories for PutraBlast. It'll tell you how to set because it's faster, I think.
And due to this, I think some of the students requested not to use PutraBlast. I'm not sure, have you come across these problems due to the slow and lag in
lagging.
the Putras?
Especially those students, especially those students who are in the colleges. If they use a college in the internet, especially the ground floor, they would have a problem. Yes.
So they would request other type of platform, for
so
example, Google Forms.
So far, you can use Google Forms or whatever forms, but yes, it's all up to you. The flexible is still there.
Prof. Cha also mentioned that many students complain about the system. I also cannot access in my location. So some of the weakness in this system.
Let me see if I can find Dr. Johan. Yes, okay. Yeah, it's just a 2-minute video. So it'll be easier. Dr. Johan from Bintulu campus. Okay, it's an old one, but the system is still the same. It's still, the theory is still the same. I just shared the YouTube faster than the load. Can you see the video? See, my internet is also getting slow. Sabar, tak nak share dulu selagi tak keluar. Okay, you know what? I'll give you the link. You can share. It's not coming up. I can give you. So what happens is basically the idea here is that you divide those questions into categories. So each categories, let's say you want to answer, you want to take 3 questions. So you ask them to, so in that category you put more than 3 questions so that the PutraBlast can randomly take those 3 questions out of maybe 6 questions you put in or whatever. Then you can randomize. It means that within the same topic you have 9 or even more questions where the PutraBlast can really take and adapt from there. So each students will have 3 questions from the same topic, but those 3 questions will come up from the main questions from the 9 questions that you set in your collection, in your categories. So this is what I'll just give you the link and the YouTube link. They're also coming out very slow. So while waiting, is there any other questions? Sorry, I can't show you the categories, but that's fun so that you have more questions. And then students can't copy each other because their questions will be different. Okay, that's called the categories option. Okay, I'm just going to put in the chat. I'm copying, so you can look through. So hopefully you can understand. In the chat box. Okay, this is the. This also I learned from him actually. Then I tried. Very good. Okay, here. Okay, so it's like having more questions for each one, and then you randomize and ask the system to choose. So even you don't know what student answers towards the end only, so student can't copy each other because different questions. Okay, but it takes more time. You can have a look at this YouTube link here. Okay, I think you got the link. So yeah, so thank you very much, and I think that's all for my presentation. If there's any more question, I'm more than happy to answer.
All right, thank you, Dr. Raj. Is there any questions from the participants? So we enjoy your talk, just like your students enjoy your class.
Thank you very much.
We have comments from Dr. Alicia, outstanding presentation, Dr. Raj. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Mayut said, thank you, wonderful.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. I hope it helps. But if you need any assistance, get in touch with me, Manraj, manraj@upm.edu.my. And then I'll give you my phone on the chat as well in case you want. Okay.
Yes, this one I can assure Dr. Raj is very helpful.
I try not to say suddenly it's like, oh, you did not reply me in 2 minutes. There are some days that it might happen.
Okay.
Okay.
So thank you for sharing, Dr. Raj. Dr. Raj already shared the UPM email and also his number on the chat box. So I think we are late, so I think we can end the session. So finally, we come to the end of our HOTS assessment webinar series. So I would like to say thanks again to Dr. Manraj for the informative and interesting sharing on PutraBlast to everyone here. And then it's never too late to learn. I know that there's many features in the PutraBlast, and the 2 features that I'm always use is the MCQ and also the essay. Okay, so we have learned a lot of new features in PutraBlast. So hopefully the webinar will be beneficial for everyone in designing and developing the e-assessment in PutraBlast. So last but not least, I would like to thank Pejabat TDSK for their great effort and great move to prepare the lecturers in handling teaching and learning problems during the pandemic. So this is one of our problems. We have to handle the final exam test online and so on. So we are looking forward if there are more sharing sessions to come. And thank you everyone and have a nice weekend.
Yes,
thank you.
Selamat PKPD juga tomorrow is starting. Ayo.
Yes,
okay.
EMC.
Thank you everyone for joining,
thank you.
and we hope to see you soon. And if there's any updates, I'll keep you posted as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Dr. Raj, are you in the faculty?
No, it's in my room.
Oh, because of the background, I thought you are in the room in your office.
It's the colors are the same in my office because I was doing my room when I was doing my office, so I said got extra color, just paint over.
I see. All right, so I think that's it. I will just make myself away. Bye.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Incha Kimi. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Stay safe. Thanks, Yubin.
Thanks.